Hello, welcome to Daily Trades by Ren. My name is Ren. Today is July 23rd, 2026. Okay, so let's get started. This is my second time recording, actually. My computer crashed. I got the blue screen of death. I don't know why I got that. Well, the first time I ever got it on my computer. Hopefully, I don't have any viruses or anything like that. It says that I probably have hardware driver update issues, but I wouldn't even know where to start looking for it. Maybe I have to go to the control panel or something, systems control panel. But anyway, um, so what? Here's what I did, right? So last night, or yeah, last night we closed off at I believe right here at 1 o'clock, right? We ended the day, um, closed it at 7:48:88. Overnight crashed. I did see I saw a head shoulder before the crash, and I believe was this one right here. So this is like last night, right? When I was like kind of just looking for a good setup or something, right? See what the graph was doing. Well, I'm not really into patterns, right? But head, shoulder, right? At this point, because I always like at midnight, I'm always like looking into like the future market to see what I can see, right? The best that I can. Fortunately, Robinhood and all these apps nowadays allow you to actually see the candles overnight. Even though you can't trade it, because I can't trade it because I don't. I mean, I can enable a future, and I'm pretty sure they'll let me, right? Because I have other accounts where I can do futures. I just don't do it, you know. Um, and then so when I saw that, right, I was like, okay, we already got a big old bearish movement from prior days, right? Let's go to the week. Yeah, so we already got this bearish kind of settling here, right? And we're just gonna continue to be bearish because we're like really neck to neck in all-time highs, right? And I was like, dude, when it produced that head shoulder right here, I was like, dude, we're looking to crash. You know what I mean? Even though, I talk about, maybe hitting the 752 area, right? But I said we never know because we're still at the height of of like growth. You know what I mean? We're like up there still. We're only like 10 points away. So everything's for a game, right? So I was like, hey, when I saw that, I was like, hey, we might crash going into tomorrow. We took a dive all the way to 34, before it started pushing back up, right? And then I've been looking at like where the volume is on the contracts, the different contracts and stuff, right? Saw a lot of big volume around this area too. Mind you, they don't let you see that much into where people bought their contracts, right? I think it depends on your app. So none of my apps gives you like the full range of all the contracts, right? I mean, you can buy whatever contract you want to buy. You know what I mean? Um, it was out there, or I mean, open positions on contracts, wherever it may be, right? But yeah, so with that being said, these are the plays that I essentially made for today. Let's see how am I gonna adjust this? Okay, yeah, let's go to here. This is the 1 minute, right? So the worst hour of the day, so the um, opening of the day, right after it crashed. We're probably looking at it right here, 6:30, right? 6:30. I was still asleep. I didn't wake up. I woke up like probably at 7 o'clock, right? My dad was like, "You got to move your car." He said, "You got to move." You said you got to move your car. You're in the tow area, right? Mind you, like at nighttime anything goes. We need to find parking, right? So, but it's when you wake up that's where you have to go move your car, right? So I'm like, man, what the heck? So I went and got into my position before I moved my car, which is dumb. You know what I mean? Like like for me, you need to have your space and your time, right? Like whatever, right? But like I'm multitasking, and then I didn't want to lose this bearish movement. So then I caught the bear going down, right? And and then I took a couple bucks here and there, right? Um, and then I caught another one, right? going down again, and then I think I got another couple bucks, right? So I'm up a little bit, right? But the problem is, I caught one, right? Um, Probably, like okay, from this movement, yeah. So the 6:30, right? 6:30, yeah. Um, it crashed here, right? And then when I got to the bottom here, I was like, hey, this might be the bottom out, and then it might just go up from there. But then I'm like, no, it's bullish, right? Because it was bullish overnight. Technically, it's gonna still go bullish this morning, right? Even though the opening range popped it up, because I started seeing these like lower highs, right, going down this way, and then I was like, yeah, it's probably just gonna just bearish its way through. But the problem is when it does this right here, right? Let's say it started off at 749, right, and it goes down here and it's going super slow, right? You don't know whether or not it's gonna start reversing its way up, right? Because of the how hard it fell the night before. You know what I mean? Um, and and with this price manipulation right here in the beginning of the day, right? This is a price manipulation all the way, right? It goes up at 742, and you're thinking like, oh, you know what? All I gotta do is look for confirmation, right? So you're waiting on confirmation, and you're taking in confirmation, right, to write up, you know, as a bull, and it's not giving you that, right? So that's where I lost a lot of my change, right here. So that line right there that I just drew, right? And I try to catch it back up here, but then it stopped right here. So I immediately noticed and then it started to trickle all the way down here, right? And once it started doing this lower highs again, right? I was like, okay, yeah, we have a bearish day today, right? So so I missed catching it out, catching it from here to here. I missed it completely because well, it was only like a $2 move, but it moved so fast, right? This so like 735 to like 737, 738, right? It moved so fast, right? I couldn't even catch it, right? And then um, from here to here, right? It's moved so slow, and it was in like $1 range the whole time, right? And I was like, what? Like I was waiting for some indication of it, reversing, right? This whole time, right? But the whole time I was trying to play it going down. This is probably where I saved myself from like a big loss, right? So right now I'm down like 20 something dollars, 8% of my total portfolio, right? And but before during that crash in the beginning, I was actually down like almost $40, right? So I saved myself like 20 bucks from all these like other contracts that I did just to gain some back, right? Which is kind of like it's a bit annoying because you always want to see gains every day, but I mean, if the algorithms can't do it, right? If you watch these like AI things that be trying to buy sell for you, right? They can't do it. Right? They'll miss the target price. They'll miss all the market price, and they'll give you bad positions or bad returns, right? Because like the market is too random. You feel me? Yeah. So yeah. And then so the whole time I was waiting for confirmation, right? These are the two lines that that got triggered. First come from confirmations right there, right? And then I was like, okay, that's good confirmation, right? It went higher high, you know what I mean, from here, like higher high from here, 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 right? But the problem is I didn't see a higher low, right? So right here is when it crashed back down here, right after the higher high, right? I was like, okay, this must be another price manipulation. So I got in right here, the last 10 minutes, right here, and I was like, hey, you know what? I got a good confirmation, right? I just needed to confirm again, right? So right at the last 5 minutes, it bullish all the way up to 740, right? Mind you, was 747, 746, 745 for a very long time, right? And it wouldn't present itself. Right? At one point, actually, at this point, it went to the same body as the same point as this, right? I'm like, oh man, like, but it was this was like a lot lower still, right? So I was like, okay, that's my higher low, right? Higher low, right? So the low price is higher than this price. So this is my higher low, and this is my higher high from here on, right? I was like, all right, we golden. I got my two confirmation, right? And then by up here, it confirmed and went back down, right? So then from there, I was like, I got my good confirmation, right? So and then the last 3 minutes, I looked at my larger time frame, right? Let's go to 4 hour time frame, and then I got my good confirmation, right? This is where I decided to hold it overnight because I still had a few minutes to close. Actually, I had a because I think for day trading, I mean for mark day call it market hours, um, regular market hours, not overnight. You actually are able to close out your position after like 30 minutes after the market closes, right? So this is my confirmation right here that keep it overnight, right? So I got two green candlesticks, right, on the 4 hour candle. So the first 4 hours, which go till like 9 a.m., right, from 5 to 9 a.m., right, and then the whole time from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., right, which is the last 4 hours of the day, right, it was red, right? The wick was red and the body was red, right? The last 15 minutes, it did a little green right there, body, right? And then after 1 o'clock, the last minute actually, from 12:59 to like 1 o'clock, it pumped all the way to this green right here. So right now we're still above, right? 739.37, and my contract is right there. So I'm pretty much set to get some good gains by um, by tomorrow. We're probably looking at plus 20 in the morning. You know what I mean? If it never goes back to that price, which is 7:36, then I'll just have it sit throughout the whole day and get all of my earnings, which is about uh 38 dollars maybe. Yeah, $33, 30. Yeah, around $30. So that's the reason I'm holding overnight, guys, because of the candlestick, the bullish candlestick, right? So hopefully, even if it crashes, overnight, it just needs to stay above 436, um, and I should be able to still collect some profits. You know what I mean? But you see here at 7:39, I'm only at $9, right? So if it stays 7:39, you know, hopefully it'll be a little bit more, right? Because the time decay will produce some more earnings for me. So I'm looking at a good maybe $20 in the morning if it stays around here, right? Now, if it goes, wherever, then I maybe can collect the whole thing. But it needs to stay around here still, you know. So we're just gonna wait overnight. That's what it is. So far, it's presenting itself to be a very good numbers. 739. I mean, so yeah, 739.41. And yeah, that's what happened to me today, guys. It was very hard day. And, and we're already looking to see that it might go down. I did notice that it did have strong indicators for going down below um, 7 like 36, but I'm just hoping that once it goes to past 736 and 735, it'll shoot back up. Um, it'll shoot back up. You know what I mean? It depends on what this next 4 hour is gonna do, right? So the end of this 4 hours is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at 5 o'clock tonight. So if this stays green by 5 o'clock tonight, we're golden. And then if the next one is green, right, we're golden. Um, I probably just want this one to be green, right? And then because if it goes green the following day, either I have to wake up early to catch any breakout or breakdown, you know, or crash. I'd rather it kind of just kind of bearish bull or rally its way up, right? And then slowly all the way up, and then and then in the morning it'll do a massive jump, right? Bullish going upward, back to like 748 or something like that. You know what I mean? That's where that's where I would like to have it go. Let's look into the future a little bit and see what happens. Look at some of these contracts and see if we can see anything. So tomorrow, okay, yeah, weekday, and you know what? We did talk about a crash, right? Earlier, like, hey, it might crash, but we don't know until next week. And freaking the week go by so fast, right? We're technically next week after tomorrow. We're next week, so it actually crashed on us kind of early. Um, so if we look at next week, we'll see anything 24. Wow, yeah, next week everything's fair game. Not too many contracts next week. Okay, let's see. Look at some good ones. Yeah, I think all the contracts for next week is gonna be at maybe the upper 740, 735. Let's see. Okay, 30. Let's see that at the end of the week. 735, 743. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. 735 to 743, guys. That's gonna be a range for next week. 735, 743. So it's setting ourselves up for that right now. Um, but maybe people are playing it the way I'm playing it. You know what I mean? They're day trading, so obviously not too many contracts in the future. Um, so that's just the way it is. But we do have some some decent size volume at 733 and 744. I mean 735 to 744. That's the range so far. We don't know. Depends on how what people feel like when they wake up in the morning. You know what I mean? Because all that can change. People close the contract whenever they want. So, but yeah, guys. Um, yeah, the market is seven 39 right now. 739.02. That's the current price of the SPY, and we need to stay up above 739. Hopefully, it does that for us overnight. Hopefully, it does that for us overnight. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining me today on Daily Trades by Rin, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.